I was born on the streets of Irvington, New Jersey, man. You once seen families that were happy. 10 years later, they don't even live there. That house is boarded up. It's a squatter house now or something like that. And you close your eyes and just remember when the streets were like tree-lined. And after straight disenfranchisement of American workmanship. We were so wrapped up of not following and going against the grain of whatever was given to us, that this generation here has no moral, no kind of guidepost to what's happening. Hip-hop was like the thing that got me away from a lot of the ills and the negativities of my childhood.
I'm the SOLZALEZ, making you boogie like bud with hella seeds. My flow famous like R. Kelly's P, precise down to the millimeter. Shit you couldn't see would help us sell esteem. Hit it with more force than a karate course. And when I mention schlores, was probably yours. Son Ziggy, run rowdy more from North, getting breezes out bikinis. I'm hot and leaving more flatter lines than sucking paninis.
This area in Jersey called Puerto that's like close to Staten Island. And eventually we settled in that area there because my father's side of the family ended up moving to that side of Jersey from PR. It was mixed between a lot of immigrant Europeans like Hungarians, Portuguese, and then you had your Puerto Ricans and your blacks, all mixed together. My mom wanted to get me out of a certain area because it was just getting too fucking bad over there. I got to understand that as an adult now, you know, because as a kid, you know, you're just living every day, like running around, and you just got new friends. School's getting rougher, people getting beat up in school.
I'm a chicken hawk looking for a chicken, sipping malt liquor, start licking off on niggas on a mission. From the start I kick them off chart positions, park rivers, God giving grace, I should start a religion. Hey, homeboy, better listen to what I say to you. Play it cool or ass whippings become available, Duke. This ain't no April Fools, you ain't capable to be the top dog. Discipline never giving them table food. I pay the dues and that's the cost to be the boss. Don't let it be ignored for the cause. I snuff them where they brushing floors. Living above the law, I stand while you duck and crawl back into your comfort zone. Your character is muffin soft.
Rapping came first. That was something that I wasn't writing, but I would have little freestyle sessions. My cousin, her husband at the time, was a person who was like very, very involved in the early hip hop scene. And he like actually sat down with me and the very first rhyme that I ever wrote as a kid, like I was probably like 12. When I first started making beats, my first records were not jazz records, they weren't rock records or anything like that. The first records I got were like my grandma's old records or my grandfather's, like South American soul. That was my early influence of sampling. To this day, I still carry that. He'll tell you, I go through a lot of Spanish records for the projects we specifically work on for that very reason.
These cornballs will draw straws to see who be the first to fall off course, immersed in its onslaught of all sorts. Don't sweat the technique through my pores, perspire hardcore. I draw first and fire, let off a storm and ignore the law. I'm more for the cause than most of these so-called trend hoppers, cause I'm real. You're from the land of make-believe like Fred Rogers. I peeled layers to grow on my own and never felt to bother my peers. Ain't nothing worse than grown men who gossip like queers. I'm light years beyond the limits you think you might have been on, despite you're locked in a mental prison with a high bail bonds.
Freshman, sophomore, I was like already looking for battles and like doing shows and ciphers. I already kind of knew what I wanted to be like as a young age. Years later, working on beats and I'm thinking of ideas. I was like, yo, Joey, come through, man. I want to sound like this like Puerto Rican, man. We're two Puerto Ricans, we're dope, we're from New Jersey. It's like Joey was shooting names and Nujericans was, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, man.
There was one day I was going through a compilation album of salsa artists that performed at the Nujericans. And I was looking at it and I was like, Nujericans. So I was like, yo, man, that works.
And our first show as the Nujericans was at the
Nuyorican Poets Cafe.
Míralo, the heater go blung. You need the full funds before you leave the song done. Yo, go beat a go gong. When there's wild ninjas in the cut, I breathe a whole blunt with some fast into Vindica. Style quench up in the junk, beats hot like Roberto. And we rock the street blocks to detox your ghetto.